This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening everyone and welcome to Southern Cross News. Pressure is ramping up against the state government tonight to improve women's access to abortion services in Tasmania. Hundreds of protesters today turning out in Hobart in a bid to stop women being forced to travel interstate or pay thousands to undergo the procedure. But the Premier says his government is actively working to find a solution.
Armed with banners and placards, their message is clear.
Refusal of surgical abortion is forced gestation.
Hundreds of protesters increasing the pressure on the state government to improve access to abortions in Tasmania.
It's safe done in the right settings and that should be available to Tasmanian women.
Last year, a Hobart clinic offering the procedure closed, meaning women are now travelling interstate or paying thousands to terminate their pregnancy.
This is absolutely discrimination against women in Tasmania who are not able to access this service, a safe, legal medical procedure like any other medical procedure that is accessible in the public health system.
There are various operational reasons as to what the best model of service might be. Our job is to find a suitable replacement.
Provider Mari Stope says it sees 10 Tasmanians a month travelling to Melbourne for the procedure. It wants to set up a clinic here and has been in talks with the state government, but these have recently stalled.
It's a bit of a vacuum at the moment. It's gone silent, so clearly the politics is bogging down the process.
Despite Labor's claims the Liberals' Conservative side is ruling the roost, the Premier says his party's united on the issue.
We want Tasmanian women to have equal access to services, appropriate access, and our commitment is to provide that.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
A man from Lewisham suffered a medical incident and died as he was driving in Dodgers Ferry last night. Tasmania Police were called to the scene and say the 80-year-old man had pulled over on Carlton Beach Road. Passers-by provided assistance to the man, but sadly he was unable to be revived. Some of the state's most celebrated athletes have returned home from the Commonwealth Games, greeted today by their biggest fans. Excited supporters got the chance to grab an autograph, chat with the local legends and proudly hold the winning medals.
It's fantastic to be home here in Tassie and to get to thank our supporters for their support, not only during the Games but in the times leading up to it as well. So I think I might be biased, but we have a fantastic supporter base here in Tassie, that's for sure.
The Team Oz Celebrations Tour continues until Friday. The Snug Volunteer Fire Brigade has today celebrated half a century of service. The anniversary shared with the founder and original brigade chief who helped pick up the pieces after one of the state's worst bushfires.
Ian Freeman was 25 years old when he established this fire brigade with his mates. 50 years later, and today, he was honoured with a Long Service Award presented to him by his fellow volunteers.
Very surprised, actually. I wasn't expecting it.
It's definitely an achievement, well deserved. There's not too many people can honestly say they've done 50 years of voluntary work for the community, so marvellous job and congratulations.
The Snug Volunteer Fire Brigade was founded a year after the 1967 bushfires, the town one of the worst affected. This catastrophic event became a catalyst for change for Tasmanian fire brigades, and Ian's team led the way.
Brigades at the time, I think, really concentrated on just their own small communities. There wasn't that coordination of brigades to come together and tackle fires in a more effective way.
Well, someone had to come and do something to try and protect us. That's how we started off. Yeah.
I think those learnings from days gone past, such as 1967, have really allowed us to be better organised, better prepared and provide a greater service to the Tasmanian community.
Today, a milestone marked and memory made for both the founder and the brigade. Ruby Kamain, Southern Cross News.
Tasmanians have joined more than 90 nations in celebrating World Tai Chi Day. Hobart hosted a morning session of the popular self-healing exercise, which focuses on slow movements and balance.
I get the YouTube videos from around the world And when you get them from China and Asia, you think, well, that's it. But when you get them from Iran and Syria and Mexico and Turkey, you realise just how big this is.
World Tai Chi Day takes place every year on the last Saturday of April.
Well, as expected, it's been a bloodbath on the scoreboard at North Hobart Oval in the TSL. North Launceston booting a monster score, 28 goals 21, 189, beating North Hobart 2 goals 5, 17. The 172-point drubbing, an easy day out for the returning Tom Couch. It was much closer at Blunston Arena. In a scrappy affair, Launceston managed to hold on for the win over Clarence by 30 points. The South Launceston Football Club is being inducted into the Tasmanian Football Hall of Fame. The club won the TSL flag in 2013, along with 5 premierships in local leagues. The two clubs, which merged to form South Launceston in 1986, City South and East Launceston, will also be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Tassie boxer Luke Jackson has gone 16-0 after a decisive win last night at Rest Point in Hobart. And Jackson managed to do it over his Thai opponent in under 2 rounds. Stepping into his hometown fortress, Hobart's fighter was ready to deliver a brutal boxing lesson. His opponent, a last-minute switch after Argentina's Javier Herrera pulled out, leaving unranked Thai Surchat Thongmala to field Jackson's full force. The groggy 29-year-old returned to his feet only to cop another barrage of blows before the bell. But business was about to pick up, Jackson leaving Thongmala nowhere to hide in the second as he rounded out the most decisive of victories by knockout. The one-sided contest clearly not what Jackson wanted to showcase.
I've had a lot of negativity lately, man, and I'm over it. I try my best to bring the fights to Tassie. I'm getting all these guys big fights on the undercard, something I never had, and I'm not getting appreciated.
A world featherweight title shot remains the end goal.
I want Cole Frampton in Windsor Park in the UK. I'll fight him there, I'll fight Oscar Valdez in Mexico City, or I'll fight either of them here.
And on the undercard, Jaden Plugger Joseph claimed the Australian cruiserweight belt after weathering 10 tough rounds in the ring, the points decision going right down to the wire.
I'm tough. I will back my chin 100%.
In the Seaball, the Launceston Tornadoes have had a shocker against Sandringham last night, but it was a different story up in Ulverston, with the Northwest Thunder enjoying a resounding win. Under pressure to snap a 3-game losing streak, the Thunder responded in a big way. The first half was close, but the Thunder shook Sandringham off its back for good in the third period, outscoring the visitors 30 points to 18, with captain Jeremiah Ingram again the driving force, reliable as ever in front of the hoop, while Mason Bragg put on a free lesson, nailing 29 points for the night. The rate of turnovers drastically improved from last round, and it made a clear difference on the scoreboard, the home side enjoying its second win of the season, down in the Sabres 93-78. The Tornadoes welcomed back Lauren Mansfield to Elphin Stadium, but it was a far from happy homecoming. A forgettable performance where the Tawns simply couldn't find the basket, while conceding twice as many turnovers to help Sandringham cruise away. Mansfield was left dazed after this nasty clash, which briefly stopped play, but there was little respite. The Tawns demolished 69 points to 97. The side is now 1 win from 5 games. And finally tonight, Richie Port has moved into 3rd spot overall in the Tour de Romandie. The Tasmanian put in a strong performance in the uphill time trial, which had a gruelling 10% gradient in some parts. Port is now 27 seconds behind the overall leader in the Tour after stage 3.
Good evening. A mostly fine and partly cloudy day. 19 was the high at Fingal and Campania. Hobart and Launceston 18, 17 for Burnie, Devonport 16 degrees. Low Head, Flinders Island and Friendly Beaches 18, 17 for Grove and Ouse today. Strawn, Liaweenie, Maria and King Islands all 16 and 15 at Smithton. The satellite sequence shows low-level cloud across the north and west of the state and a mid to high-level cloud band approaching the state from the west. A mid-level cloud band is seen here over Western Australia and to the west of South Australia. The rest of the country is mostly cloud-free. A high sits over most of southern Australia. The high extends a ridge up to the Queensland coast into the Northern Territory and to the north of Western Australia. Coastal waters, winds 5 to 15 knots, reaching 20 knots about the south and east, increasing to 20 to 30 knots in the south during the day. Seas mostly below 1.5 metres, reaching 2.5 metres in the south later in the evening. A strong wind warning is current for southern coastal waters. Tomorrow in Hobart, 18 and partly cloudy, 18 for Richmond with a possible early shower and ooze 17. Mostly sunny in Launceston, 19, 18 in Devonport and Deloraine 17, partly cloudy. Mostly sunny in Burnie, 18, also sunny for Curry 16, a partly cloudy 15 for Strawn. Mostly sunny in the east, 18 in Swansea and St Helens, 19 in Whitemark. Looking ahead to Monday, patchy morning fog, otherwise fine. Tuesday, showers about the west, clearing in the afternoon, fine elsewhere apart from areas of morning fog in the north. A fine day for Wednesday with high-level cloud across the state. To the mainland, a shower or two in Cairns and Sydney, partly cloudy in most other centres, with a sunny day for Perth, Adelaide and Alice Springs. And currently it's 13 and cloudy in Hobart, Launceston 13 and partly cloudy, Devonport 14 and partly cloudy. So the weather is looking good for the fireworks display at UTAS Stadium before the football in Launceston tonight, Jo.
Let's hope they're spectacular. Thanks so much for that, Carmen. Well, that's all from the team for now. Thanks for your company. Good night.